Welcome back, Juicers, to Season 2 of the Morning Juice Podcast. We're kicking things off with a powerful and deeply personal story. Today we're joined by Dennis Jordan, founder of the Shelby Jordan Foundation, as he shares his daughter's journey, why he started the foundation, and the raw, real perspective of a parent fighting to help a child through addiction. Let's get into it.
How you doing, Dennis?
I'm doing good, man. Good to be here.
I'm sorry for the little bit of delay. You know, it happens. You know, nobody gets to see the behind the scenes stuff. Even though we are going to do some behind the scenes stuff this year on our podcast. You know, we're going to do some recordings. So like today would have been a good one because we had a little red dot that just wouldn't get out of the way. So like, you know, so it's good. It's good. We're getting it going though. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll go right into the story.
I'm Dennis Jordan with the Shelby Jordan Foundation. I started a foundation because we lost our daughter at 26 years old to a fentanyl poisoning overdose in 2019. I just didn't know what to do for the first 5 years or so. Just was kind of mad. Didn't know what to do.
Right.
Just talking to some friends about telling Shelby's story to some friends of ours, and a friend of mine, and we'll get into it, said you need to tell the story because nobody tells it from a parent's point of view.
And that's why that right there is why I wanted you on the show so bad, because like we haven't really had, I don't even know if we've had any point of view from the parent. You know, I've had a point of view from a wife, but not from a parent, and that's, to me, that was super important because we need to know how the parents feel.
Yeah, and I don't think for what I do now is I go out and speak to sober living houses, recovery houses, and my goal is really to reach the addicts, and I want them to know that their parents love you. I don't care how old you are. I don't care if you're 40 and your parents are 70. I don't care.
Right.
They love you.
Absolutely.
But what I want them to understand is that you're your parents' pride and joy. That's what you really are. And like I said, I don't care how old you are.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm 48 and I'm still a mama's boy baby. You know what I'm saying? So like, absolutely. No matter what, your parents absolutely love you.
Absolutely love you. And I guarantee them three things in life, really. There's three guarantees. God loves you, and God will help you get through this. Your parents love you, and they will help you. Have you made them mad over time? Yes, you have made them mad. And that's okay. We can build relationships back. And sometimes I think they don't think that, but they can.
Right.
And if you have kids, they love you. They need you. They don't have to understand everything you've went through, but they love you and need you.
Absolutely. And like we were talking before the show, you know, we was talking about like from the addict's perspective. You know, as somebody that was a former self-harmer and stuff, we get this shame feeling, and then we're like, we don't want our parents to know because we think they're going to be ashamed of us,
right? Instead
of just being like, hey, I'm struggling, you know.
Right. And you know, I have never been an addict myself, so therefore I don't really know. So I don't know when an addict tells me stuff, I'm like, man, I didn't look at it from that way. So when we're dealing with Shelby, I didn't look at her side of it. I don't know about the shame but now that people are starting to bring that to me, I'm like, so. And like I said before the show, there's some things I would say differently to her today that I didn't do 8 years ago or whatever, that you learn over time. So if I can help other people understand that.
And that's the perspective I like also, is that you can come in with now like saying, hey, you know, I did not know how to handle somebody, a child that was an addict.
Yeah.
But now looking back and doing these talks and stuff, I know I would have said it differently to show the love a different way than me asking. You know, most parents hit it from the angle of, why are you doing this to yourself? You know, why can't you stop? You know, and they take that as like shame, guilt, like they don't love me no more. Whereas we're acting like a parent, why are you doing this?
Right.
Instead of being like, what can I do
to help you?
But like, what can I do right now to help you not do this no more?
Well, I think as a parent, when you're in the middle of addiction, and you're dealing with your addict, and money comes up a lot.
Yeah.
And parents get tired of giving out money.
Absolutely.
So I tell people this. I want you to understand this. When your parents quit giving you money, doesn't mean the love stops.
Right.
They love you too much to give you the money.
They're tired of being the enabler.
Right. You're the enabler. You're helping them. So I tell them this. I say, money does not equal love, and love does not equal money. They're not the same. They'll never be the same. In Shelby's life, when I got to the point of the money had to stop, if she was hungry, we'd go have lunch somewhere. If she needed gas in the car, I'll meet her at a gas station. I didn't give her any cash, but I wanted to make sure she was, good to go somewhere, had something to eat, stuff like that. The love never stopped. The frustration built.
Yeah.
But the love never stops.
Yeah. And I find that important also because like it's kind of like the homeless people here in Madison. I see people giving them money and I'm like, I don't give them money. Like I give them bottles of water, I give them granola bars, I give them I give them Narcan because most of them are addicts. And I
Right.
don't want them to pass away. That way they have it to use it when they need it. So yeah, like I understand that perspective. Like but as the addict mind, as you are aware of now, back when we quit giving them money, they're like, they don't love me no more.
Right.
They don't love me no more. Why won't he give me money? Instead of being like, we're still giving you money. We're making sure you're fed.
Yeah.
We're putting gas in your car. We're just not giving you the money to do what we don't want you to do.
Yeah. Well, because look, we as a parent, you learn where the money's going.
Right.
And it's not helping. I mean, we paid for Shelby to go to rehab a couple of times and stuff like that. And look, there's some things I can tell you. I'm not a big 28-day rehab fan. I'm not saying they don't work. What I'm saying is addicts get, like Shelby got a choice one time in court. You can go to jail or you can go to serve 28-day rehab. Well, she chose 28-day rehab. And I would have too. Matter of fact, she called me up and said, Dad, what would you do? I said, well, I'd go to 28-day rehab is what I would do. But now, I'm not saying they don't work, but if you're not there to get sober, you're there to stay out of jail. Well, that's two different reasons why you're there.
Absolutely.
And so,
like because they're not there by their choice. They're there by the choice of the courts.
right. And so they're just serving time.
Right. So like for me, working in the field, I know exactly what you're talking about because like when I worked at the ranch and a kid would come in and he's like, my mama made me come. Well, then I'm having to try to work overtime to try to make him realize your mama she wants you to come because she wants you to stay alive.
Right.
So then you have to get through the first 2 weeks you're spending trying to make them change their mind while they're even there. So like they don't even get a true 28 days at that point. By the time they get out, they've only really gotten about 7 days where they really wanted the help.
Yeah.
And so like then their insurance runs out and then,
You're gone.
So like I understand exactly what you're saying on that point. It's not that you disagree with the 28 days. You're more like you got to be wanting to go.
Yeah.
Like and I agree. Like with any addiction, until you hit your rock bottom, nothing's going to do well for you.
I think everybody's rock bottom is different. I mean,
yes.
If you're going to, you cannot just stereotype and go, that's a rock bottom, that's rock bottom.
Right.
That's not true. Everybody is different.
You're right, because you might I have personally seen people in addiction.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, they're at their rock bottom. And then they come back a few months later and I'm like, oh, no,
they wasn't.
This is a whole different level of rock bottom.
Right.
And so but when they come back that second time, they're different. They're like, Juice, I can't do this no more.
Yeah.
Like I cannot live. I'm going to die if I live this way.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, you hit your rock bottom.
Yeah, right. And there's some things that happened to Shelby. I think, my goodness, I don't think I could do that. I don't think I could get myself to get that far. Now that's coming from somebody who's never been an addict. Either.
Right.
There's some things I'm like, surely that's rock bottom. Surely that's going to help her.
Yeah.
And I'll just give you a quick couple of stories. When she was in Chattanooga, we got her into a 12-month rehab after getting in some trouble, and then she'd already had cash. There was one of them. There was a cicadas in Chattanooga, and it was one of rehab, and she could take the baby with her.
Yeah.
And I thought, it's a cul-de-sac, man. This will work out great. Shelby works, they watch cash. They work, she watches their kids. Super cool deal. I thought it was really going to work. Shelby ended up getting a free weekend to come home and took some needle and everything back with her and overdosed next morning. And we had to go. So the phone call was, hey, come get your grandson. We don't know if Shelby made it or not. So we have to go to Chattanooga to pick up cash. And the lady said when she left here, she was unresponsive. So we're headed to Erlanger in Chattanooga, not knowing if our daughter's alive or not.
Right.
It gets pretty emotional. When you're missing somebody, you're like, man, what is going on? But she made it.
Yeah.
And now she was on the couch for 12 hours Indian style, and it about killed every muscle in her legs. She had to learn to walk again. She lost some of her hearing. And like we talked before we got here, some of it you have to laugh to get you through it.
Absolutely. It's kind of like watching a police show on TV, and the people are like, "How can they laugh in this?" And it's like they're not laughing at the situation. No. They're having to use dark humor to get through the situation because it's so sad.
Yeah, so like Shelby, she lost some of her hearing. She couldn't hear, but she's yelling at me. I'm like, Shelby, I can hear fine.
Right.
Quit yelling at me.
Right. I need to raise my voice, not
right,
you.
Right. It was just, but I understand because she can't hear, so she thinks she's even talking loud.
Yeah.
It's just one of the things then.
When did her addiction start?
She started using in high school. She broke her big toe, and her toe was broke a long ways. So when she stepped, it would split.
Oh.
And so she went and had screws put in it, and they put her on Oxycontin. It spiraled from there. And I'm not saying everything was just downhill, because there were some good times.
Yeah.
I'm not saying she went here, went all the way bottom, but
addiction's kind of like recovery, though.
Yeah, and it's a roller coaster ride, and for a family like ours who's never had anybody addiction in our life, I can't think of anybody else in my family who's ever addicted. Now, I'm not saying there hasn't been any. I'm just saying I don't remember any. Me and Rachel, my wife, we just like, man, we don't know what to do here. We don't know. And the truth is, you're as a parent when it first happens, you're kind of embarrassed. Like, what is she doing?
Yeah, I didn't raise her that way.
No, she knows. Look, The funny thing about our family, this is that humor coming in. We have an older daughter, Lauren, and we have a younger son, Ryan, and they're all 3 years apart. Lauren was a Tennessee State Trooper. Ryan is now a Metro officer at the airport.
Right.
Then people say, what happened to Shelby? Well, I have no idea what happened to Shelby in the middle. Look, I can blame communities. I can blame friends. There's all kinds of, the truth is it comes back to Shelby.
Yes.
She made decisions to do what she did. So I don't let her off the hook.
Right.
Now, there's other people to blame. Sure, there's other people who didn't help her along the way, but I don't know. But Shelby was always that kid that just pushed an envelope with you. She was just that kid.
She just go right up to that line.
I mean, just an envelope push. Yeah, every time.
Yeah.
I'm talking about at a young age. She was, and part of me liked that about her. She was rough, and she was very ladylike, but she was just rough. I mean, she was just you're gonna get her best.
Right.
You're not gonna run over her.
Right.
So
he was a strong, independent person.
Strong-willed, and all that's great until they start using it against you.
Right, because then it's like,
yeah, I built this, or we built this thing, and I thought this was great about her, and she was independent. She was all of that. And so when we talked about off the air about getting with older guys and abusing these younger women, and I really shocked me when she started letting guys do that to her. It just kind of set me back a little bit. And the truth is, that's what upset me more about anything. Why are you letting these guys treat you like that? I don't understand it. And you're not going to let me do anything about it.
Right, because
I'm sit there and take.
Right, because what you want to do is get in your truck,
yeah,
drive down the road, beat the hell out of somebody.
And I've told him that. I said, Shelby, he's no problem for me. There happened an incident right before she died. She come out and took some swings at me. And the story is she got out of the car, and I was on her. She'd come out to visit. It was Mother's Day weekend. And Rachel, my wife, asked me to stay in the living room with him while she visited because she was a little calmer if I was out there. I didn't stay around a lot when she came because she was here to see Cash. She wasn't here to see me.
Yeah.
And I could irritate her real quick. If I snarled at her, if I looked at her wrong, she would take it personally.
Because you're still not knowing at this point not how to deal with everything.
Right. I'm like,
frustration
what you're doing.
There.
And all the time we're doing, I never thought she would die. I just never thought that.
Right.
I can tell you there's some low points, but anyway, she comes out Mother's Day weekend and she getting ready to leave and everything. Pretty good visit, 3 hours or so. And Rachel and Cash are walking her out to the car, and Rachel comes back in a few minutes later and says, "Can you go out there and talk to her? She's F-bombed me all the way to the car." And so when I went out there, I was not happy. I wasn't. And I pointed at her and was pretty demonstrative to her. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I was just frustrated with it. She come out of the car ready to fight like a man. She swung at me, and I thought, my goodness.
Yeah.
In my mind, I'm thinking two things. I can't believe we're here.
How did we get to this?
Why are we this bad at this? And the second thing is, if she swings again, I'm going to drill her. That's just where I was at with it.
Yeah.
But then my heart said, man, if you beat up your daughter and she goes to all them boyfriends or whatever she's going in town, tell my dad beat me up, that would be right. And I would look terrible. So I didn't do it. I didn't want to do that.
Right.
But I did say, if she swings again, she's going to pay a price. And she swung and I knocked her. Open hand slapped her down. And I jumped on top of her and I had my fist doubled up. And I said, Shelby, you don't understand my frustration with this. You don't understand where I'm at. And the truth is, I tell the story, it's this. If that was my son, we're fighting.
Oh, yeah.
That's 100% what we're doing. I didn't say I would like it. I'm just saying that's where we'd be at.
Right.
You're going to swing at me, I'll show you.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I picked her up and I dusted her off and I hugged her. I said, Shelby, I love you. I love you, Shelby. I said, get in your car and get out of here. She said, you can't make me do anything. And so I shoved her in the car and showed her what I could do. And so she goes down our driveway and calls her mother and says she's going to get her boyfriend and they'll be back out. And I said, absolutely. Absolutely.
I want him anyway.
Yeah. I said, but on your way out, you need to stop by that EMT station and get that ambulance because that's the only way he's going to leave here.
Yeah, just go ahead and have him follow back out here.
But I had to tell her, Shelby, if I wanted to beat your boyfriend up, I see him in town walking the streets all the time. You're not smart enough to figure out the only reason he likes you because you're the one with the car. He's using you and you're not realizing it. And it's so frustrating as a parent. I mean, like I said earlier, there's some things I could have done differently and some things I probably could have showed her more patiently. I just didn't know how to deal with it. I just didn't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what to do about it at that time.
So, like, when you go to your places and talk to, like, sober living houses, and I don't even know if you do, like, I don't know if you meet with parents yet.
Yeah. I would love to I would love to have a meeting one time with the addicts there and their parents.
Yes. And that way you can talk to the parents, too.
Yeah. Say, look, you're no different. Look, I think 99% of the parents are all the same.
Yeah.
One, you're kind of embarrassed about your kid. You are. You're disappointed.
You're disappointed.
I don't say embarrassed. You're disappointed in where they're at in their life.
Because you take some of that blame. Right. Like, what did I do wrong?
Where did it go? What happened?
Yeah.
But I want them to understand that there's a way you got to talk to them. Now, you can't let them run over you because some of them will try to do that.
Right.
But I started saying this. Tough love is a good thing until tough love gets to abandonment. And then don't abandon them. Now you're proving you don't love them. Or that's what they're thinking. They want nothing to do with me. They won't have no meet me nowhere. They won't do nothing with me. They won't.
The last person on earth that should love me don't love me no
You're
more.
right. So
now
what do
let me go.
Yeah, why would I go around them anymore? I'm not going around them.
Now I should just go do more. You know,
nobody loves me. My family don't even love me.
Right.
And that's so far from the truth. It just hurts so much when you see them. You're like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And I'm like any other parent. I'd go into a gas station and I'd walk in the front door and I see Shelby back there. I'm like, I just turn around and walk out. She just frustrated me that day. The way she looked, or the way she was dressed, or the way, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it.
Yeah.
But I can tell you this, every time my phone rang, it was her number, pop up, I would answer. Because I never knew what that phone call may bring.
Right. You don't know if it's somebody's friend calling you. Like you don't know.
Yeah. One phone call I got one night, she called me and said, I answered the phone, she's screaming and crying, and she had cash with her. Cash was about $2. And I finally got her calmed down. I said, where are you at? She said, I'm at the Exxon across from Wendy's on 231. I said, get the baby and get in the store. And I went there and her window was kicked out in her car. Of course, the cops were there. I had to have my wife come get the baby. So everything gets calmed down, but it's just me and her standing there talking. And she said, why are you mad at me? I said, Shel, you don't understand why I'm mad at you? I'm mad because you had my grandson in a drug deal. Just watch the news. They shooting cars all the time, Shelby. Do you not understand why was it his window kicked out in the glass in his seat and yours is not kicked out? They're trying to get to him, Shelby. That's how they're going to get to you.
It's by that, yeah.
They're going to use him. So I just need you to understand that. I mean, and at that time, that night I thought I was pretty sympathetic with her. I'm like, Shelby, you don't know. I don't understand why you don't know. That's the frustrating part. I know I raised you better than I know I did.
Yeah.
And the reason and the reason I know that is I got 2 other kids that never had this problem. Now, I'm not saying they're perfect. I'm not saying Shelby should have been perfect. I'm not saying that at all. I try not to compare my 3 kids because all of them are so much different. But I will tell you this. This is why I know Shelby when she was sober in a recovery. We're in a drug court meeting, and it's me and it's my wife and it's Shelby's on the other side of my wife. The 2 ladies are talking to us said, well, we figured out it's you. You're the problem. They're pointing at me. I'm like, me? I ain't never sold her the first drug. Don't have any of them.
Yeah.
And they're ripping on me about the way I raised her. I was hard on her, and I coached her in ball, and I was hard on her. I'm like, yeah, some of that may be true. Some of that may be true. And Shelby finally snapped and says, quit blaming my dad. I got a brother and sister that don't have my problem. It's me. Yeah. And that's when I know, okay, so it's not really me. So Shelby not blaming me.
Yeah.
And so she told him 2 ladies, look, my dad tells me all the time he loves me. I tell her all the time. That's one thing I could express to her that I knew she would understand. Shelby, I love you. I love you too much to watch some of this. I can't sit there and...
It hurts me too much to watch you.
Look, I know what you're capable of. I know what we're not doing it. Now, I'll tell you this, and I don't think any addict ever kills themselves on purpose. Nobody wants to overdose.
Absolutely. That's why most of them are called accidental.
Yeah. And so I tell people, look, there's no way Shelby overdosed on purpose. There's no way she done that. It was laced with fentanyl. She didn't know what she was taking. That doesn't mean I didn't warn her. Shelby, you're going to get something one day. You're going to get something. You know what I'm
stronger than regular fentanyl.
Yeah. Well, it's one of them deals where, like every addict probably always says to their parents, I know what I'm doing. I know. Man, I wish that was true, that I wouldn't worry about it. And so I would tell her, like my dad told me when I moved out, and I told all my kids, I worry about you more now that you're moved out than you are when you lived with me because I don't know where you're at. Especially at the younger age when they're first moving out. You're like, man, hope I did right. Hope I did good.
Yeah, I hope I showed you everything I needed to show you.
And I hope you're smart enough to call me if you got a problem.
Yeah. So she started in high school basically from taking
Oxycontin.
A pain med, an opiate.
Yeah, and I think I wish it wasn't so easy to prescribe. And I think then if the doctor was going to prescribe that to a 17-year-old girl, the parents ought to have a little heads up about it.
Yeah.
I mean, come to the parents and say, hey, that stuff is pretty addictive. Watch her.
Right.
But heck, I didn't know anything about it.
Because with that one, it can get addictive, and then usually it leads because you can't hardly find it no more. So then you usually go to like a meth or a heroin.
Yeah.
And then of course both of those are usually mixed with fentanyl. That's how the fentanyl addiction happens, especially with meth. I don't even think in today's society meth is even meth. I think it's more or less fentanyl basically at this point.
Yeah. So I mean I don't know. I try not to. So what drugs are? I don't really know any. I know the basics. This, the meth and all that stuff. I know the basic names, but there's so much stuff out there nowadays. There's so much stuff that you go to these sober living houses, and you go to these rehab centers, and you're like, man, I don't know. Man, I don't know. The stuff people are putting in their bodies. I'm like, why did you think that was a good idea? I'm just curious about some of it. I'm like, but I've never been an addict, so therefore I've never thought that way. I think most, maybe most. I don't even know. I hadn't read much stuff. Maybe addicts get started on prescribed stuff. I'd like to see it. I'm not a numbers guy. I don't even come in with notes. Everything I say is from the heart.
I will agree with you. I think a lot of people, a lot of addictions, certain addictions do start with like a pain med, especially like, Tennessee just 10 years ago or so, they shut down a whole bunch of pain clinics because they were just
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, Tennessee at one point was the number one state in the country, I believe, for narcotics and opiates.
Yeah.
So like we was the state that was pumping pills out, which
Yeah.
led to other addictions. Absolutely.
And I think addicts, when look, they'll doctor shop it. They'll look around, find some doctor, give them what they're needing. Look, they know how to say it. They know how to word it. They know how to make themselves feel. They know more about it. They're sharper about that stuff than you think they are.
Yeah.
They learn the system.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I have learned with addicts working in the field is that they're some of the most intelligent people you run across. You don't even like people who just shun them and look down on them and just keep that stigma on them. They'll have that vision like they're deadbeats, they're just homeless people, blah, 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 blah. But like, if you talk to them, a lot of your addicts are super, super intelligent.
Yeah.
Maybe not academically, but like streetwise, they are.
Yeah.
They're intelligent.
Well, I'll tell you, Shelby graduated high school with a 4.0. So the thing is, when they say, her grades start slipping, her socials, that's not true with her.
It didn't happen with her.
It didn't happen with her. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm saying it didn't happen with her.
Yeah.
So she was a good student. And I tell people, look, when Shelby was on drugs and we knew she was on drugs, just trying to help her, and she was still living at home some, but she wasn't doing it like when she moved out. She got out, she got heavy. But she turned 18 before she graduated high school, December before she graduated. And she wanted to move out that day. She wanted to move out in December. I'm like, we got to get you through high school. I thought it was part of our deal. I thought that was part of it.
Yeah.
And just to tell you where she got was, we're in high school, and she's a good softball player. If you go to Woodbury, Cannon County High School, you'll see her number of jerseys retired down there. Good softball player. And she got some college scholarship offers and had all that going. And the one that really sticks out to my mind, she had some small offers. Look, there's no full rides in softball. There's no full rides.
Right.
Anyway, she had Shawnee, the college on top of the mountain.
Yeah.
Anyway, they called and said, Shelby, come up here and visit for softball. I said, yeah. So we went, and she went with us. But Shelby wanted to be a nurse, and they offered pre-med. Now, me personally, I don't know the difference, but we'll go.
Yeah.
So we're talking to Coach George up there, and she said, Shelby comes here. She'll be our first baseman day one. She'll play. She said, we offer pre-med, not nursing. Well, Shelby said, I want nursing. So I said, well, I'm sorry, Coach. I guess she wants nursing. We'll look at it. Keep looking. Coach George said, give me a few days and let me figure out something. So she calls back and says, Shelby will come and play 4 years of softball, 2 years of basketball. She played high school basketball. 2 years of basketball just to help with the financial part of it. Because that's an expensive school. We need all the financial help we can get.
Right.
And she'll do that, graduate in 4 years. We'll give her 2 years at Vanderbilt to be a nurse. They're going to give it to her. And when I was talking to Coach George on the phone, I thought, man, that's going to work. That'll work. Shelby comes home, I tell her about it. I'm a little excited about it.
Right. That's an exciting plan.
She shot it down. I don't want to be in school that long. And I thought, you think about it today, okay, she died in 2019. She graduated high school in 11. She's going to have 7 years of college, or 6-7 years of college. That'd be 18. She died a year later.
Yeah.
The life she could have had. I will say this, as a teenager, when she moved out at 18 years old, right after she graduated, she moved out the morning after she graduated. She told me, she looked at me boldly and said, Dad, I'm fixing to show you how to live. And I sarcastically said, good. I want to know how to live with no job, because that's what I'm really interested in. I'm really interested in.
Right.
That'd be great, Shelby. I don't want to work either.
You're right.
So,
show me how it works.
Yeah. So there's sarcasm in our house, and everybody has it, and I kind of like it.
Yeah.
Anyway, but the life she could have led, right where she went. I always come back to Shelby, but there's people in her life that didn't help. That didn't, and I could say stuff to them, or especially the kids in town that went to school.
Yeah.
They're just, their parents are battling the same fight where I'm fighting.
Right.
Everybody's got their own little fight. And the thing about Shelby is, I taught all three of our kids to be honest, even when they were little. Be honest. If you're in trouble, let's just talk about it. Tell me the truth, and we'll deal with it all.
Yeah. And
now all three of them, Shelby was pretty honest, and I caught her with the first marijuana joint. And like I say, she was driving, so she was at least 16. I don't know.
Yeah.
What, I try not to pin down dates much. I set her down like every parent would set their kid down. And she hit me with the truth. I said, Shelby, what are you doing? And she loudly said, I like it. The truth is, that set me back.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting the truth. I was expecting a lie. That ain't mine. Somebody left it in my car. That's what I was expecting. I didn't get that. So to the day, I don't know what I said to her that night. I don't even know what I said.
Because it rattled you.
It set me back. I'm like, I wasn't expecting that.
Well, you told me. I did tell me the truth. I wasn't expecting that kind of truth, though. Right.
Yeah. But I gave her the old gateway story, gateway drug. I gave her all that. But she was always honest. The thing is, I say always, not always, because when you catch a lie, you got to go start backtracking where they started. Where did we start?
Yeah.
And it started with the drugs. And it started with,
Yeah. So she moves out at 18. So she didn't go to college at all.
No.
Okay.
No, she did go to be a CNA. She went to CNA school and stuff like that, got her CNA license and stuff like that. And she worked at a hospital in Smyrna for a while. I mean, she was in the baby department where she wanted to be, had a sister-in-law that was in that department that kind of got her on, kind of show her the ropes and it wasn't really, I want to say this the right way. It wasn't really Shelby, but it was Shelby. I'm dealing with a different kid.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? It's a different person. But Shelby's problem is she could not get away from them boyfriends. They'd come to work and ruin the job.
Oh.
You see what I'm saying?
They'd come up there hot and heated.
And have a dispute at
have
work.
A domestic there at the work.
So she lost some good jobs over that.
Yeah.
Like Shelby. I mean, one time I had her hooked up with a good job. I'm in the trucking industry, and I had her working at a steel plant in Smyrna, and she was like the third or fourth employee they hired. And she was going to be the lead guy, lead whatever. And that boyfriend came over and just ruined it. They was paying her $4 more than everybody else. Because the plant manager's daughter had the same problem Shelby did.
Yeah.
And so they were trying to help each other out here. We were trying to, I don't know. There's so many things that happened. She just wasn't going to take it. She just wasn't going to, I don't want my dad helping me. I don't want my dad to know anything about it. I don't want, I want to do it on my own. Look, I think everybody needs a little help.
Yeah, I agree.
Everybody needs a little help.
And there's a point in your life, don't even matter how old you get, there's a point in your life where you still have to go back and ask your parents for help. I remember like 3 years ago when I went in treatment, and then I got out and I started this podcast, this past year. The first episode I did, it was about my story. Got Brian all up in his feels right off day one. Made him fall in love with podcasting with me day one when we shot my episode. But when we premiered it, my mom and dad watched it. Yeah. And I let out a lot of truths that they didn't even know. Yeah. Like being molested by my stepdad at the time and stuff like that. And so, of course, they're both calling me.
Yeah.
They're both crying. Yeah. My mom's like, I am so sorry. I did not realize that monster that tried to kill me hurt you the way he did. Yeah. My dad was like, why didn't you tell me? I would have killed that son of a bitch. And I'm like, and I'm like, 10-year-old me, it wasn't okay, but like, I'm okay now, and the one thing it has done where I held a lot of resentment to both of them because of what did happen, even though I love both of them, I held a lot of resentment. What it did do by starting the podcast, it helped me build that relationship back.
Right.
And for me, that was important because, my dad left to go to Illinois when I was 11 years old with his new family. So like there was abandonment and stuff. And so like for me, it was like that's the positive that's come out of the podcast for me so far. So like, I agree that all the time somebody, you're going to need your parents at some point in your life. Like I'm 48 years old and I wouldn't know what to do if something happened to my mom or my dad right now.
Yeah. Well, I'm 56 and both my parents are still living. They're 74 years old. And my dad actually works for me. And I say we work together. He owns his own truck and trailer and I own the company. Man, he's helped me a ton. Emotionally.
Helps you get through all this too?
Well, here's the backstory is this. So I'm a baseball guy. I'm a sports guy. Just to tell you, I told you I thought was strike one for Shelby was the show deed in Chattanooga.
Yeah.
And the quick story behind that would be Christmas is on the 25th of December. Shelby's birthday is the 28th of December. The Chattanooga place calls says Shelby can come home for Christmas for 12 hours. I think no big deal. Hour and a half from our house. I'll go get her. So I got up early, went and got her, got back for Christmas for the whole family. Super Christmas. Loved it. Cash's first Christmas. Just some great pictures we still have on our Rolodex, or not a Rolodex, but our video thing at home. Video photo thing at home. Photo slide. The thing is, they call back the next day or two and say, hey, Shelby's got a free pass for a weekend in Murfreesboro, no supervision. And I thought, I don't know if she's ready. But I didn't want to be the Debbie Downer dad all the time. I didn't want to just keep, you're not ready. You're not good enough. So I didn't want to be that way.
Right. So you're like, let's give her this chance and see how good she is. Yeah.
See what happens. I haven't been with her for 3 months. I haven't, I haven't. Now we'd go down periodically on weekends, but so I go get her and we get back home and she said, do y'all mind watching Cash while I go hang out with friends? He's our first grandkid. Yeah, I'd love to hang out with the little kid. He's 6 months old now. He's fun to hang with.
Now
he can do stuff. But that was Friday. We didn't see her again until Sunday. Just enough time to get her back down there and not get in trouble. And I was probably a jerk. I know I was. I let her have a few choice words. But when we got back down there, I didn't get out of the car. And I'm sure the people walking around, like, man, he looks like a jerk. Look, my wife was getting stuff out of the car. They're getting baby out of the car. They're getting Christmas presents out of the car that she need to take back. It did cross my mind to say, Shelby, have you got anything to get you in trouble? But I didn't because I didn't want to be that guy. I don't want to keep accusing her of stuff that she hadn't even done.
Right.
because that's going to cause a bigger problem.
Yeah.
You're accusing me. See, you don't trust me about nothing. But that's when she OD'd that night or next morning, actually around midnight. And they got that phone call about her ODing. I thought
Your intuition was telling you she probably had.
if my wife was here, she would tell you I had more intuition about her than. So to me, her strike two was me and Rachel were out of town. She was in my car. I don't know why she was in my car. She had her own, but she was in mine. And I'm not worried about the car. But she was so messed up. She hit a flatbed pickup, or flatbed rollback wrecker. I mean, she never hit a brake and flew right through the windshield. But my dad was home. I had to call my dad. He told me, he said, so when I seen her, I thought she was dead. She had blood all over her. But she made it. And she would tell you after that, she'd say, that's a long weekend with Papa. Right? He got some questions about some stuff. You know, I'm not home to answer, you're going to speak to Papa. You're staying here.
And like we said earlier, that generation.
No, that's different.
That's different. They don't believe in all this shit.
Look, I was raised out of fear.
Yeah.
I don't do things with my dad to kill me. So that's what, I didn't raise my kids that way, but.
But he's still going to ask the questions that way.
Yeah. Strike throughs are, I think, what took her. I mean, that's who I am as a person. I'm not, I don't know. I don't know any other way to put it, but I think the good Lord gave her some chances.
Yeah.
And I just think that way. I think, well, if you're not going to do right.
Yeah.
I think he sees your party, sees you hanging around. You're not going to straighten up. Or anything, I hate it for Cash. I hate it. I hate it for me and my wife and our family, but she left us with a little boy. And I hate it for him. He's never going to be a brother. He's never going to have a sister. He's never going to have a brother. He's never going to be an uncle. You know what I'm saying? Some of the fun stuff he's going to miss in life, he don't know he's going to miss.
Right.
That I already know he's going to miss. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I can tell you just a few things. I don't know how long you want to tie up today.
No, we can. Hey, we got all day. It don't even matter.
I mean, I done a podcast a couple weeks ago. It was an hour and 53 minutes. I thought, holy moly!
Nah, we don't time them. We just keep on rocking.
Well, here's the deal: is you get to talking, you get to telling stories, you tell a story, I'm telling, and time just gets away from you.
It does.
We have all these problems with Shelby, but now the last time we seen Shelby alive was Cash's 4th birthday party, and he was born on July 21st. Let me just get back. Let me tell you when she got pregnant with Cash. She got pregnant with Cash, and I wasn't happy about it. I wasn't mad. I didn't know what to do.
Here we have a daughter in active addiction that's pregnant.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't know what to do because the way we think at our house is this: abortion's that's never the answer. We'll figure out something else. I didn't know the answer. We'll see what happens. So Shelby is, I'm not going to say embarrassed, but she didn't know how to tell me and Rachel, my wife, her mom. So she told her sister, and her sister told us. And so Shelby come over close to Christmas time and said, hey, I got something I need to tell you. Because we've known for a little while, but we didn't say anything to her about it. Just didn't, we was trying to, I can say this, we always tried to keep in good contact with her.
Yeah.
Now, she would talk to Rachel more than me because I'm bad cop. I'm the Debbie Downer.
Yeah.
I'm going to hit you with some truth.
Right.
So, but anyway, she comes over and she said, I got something to tell you. And she started crying. And I said, Shelby, I already know, hon. So it kind of helped a little bit. I let her know that, hey, your sister's going to take care of you.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we get through all that. She wasn't living with us, but I agreed to let her move back in only because I want to make sure that baby's okay. That's who I am as a person.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to tell you, it wasn't easy all the time.
There's no way it could be.
No. So I work at home, and you'll hear me say I'm at the office a lot. I have an office at home. But I guess that's my place. I didn't even realize until I started doing this kind of stuff. That was my go-to when times got tight. Just go to the office and take care of some stuff. Just get your mind off of this right now and go to the office.
Yeah.
So evidently that's what I do. So anyway, I'm up at the office one night. It's like 11 o'clock at night. Rachel's already in bed. She goes to bed at 7:30, 8 o'clock. I mean, that's just who my wife is. And I hear the back door open. What's going on? So I run downstairs and it's Shelby trying to leave. I'm like, no, we're not doing that. And at this time, she's starting to show. So this is either late February, early March, because Cash was born in July. So it's somewhere in that range. And I would love to tell you that I politely put her on the couch, but I did not. I mean, I grabbed her by the collar and I picked her up and I set her on the couch. And I just let her know, hey, you're not doing that, Shelby. Somebody's got to fight for that baby, and I guess it's me. I guess I'm the one going to do it. And that's just where I was at with it. So when we're at the hospital, she's struggling. Man, she is so struggling. All day long, she's struggling trying to have him. And there's pictures of me, and I give my wife a hard time about it because my oldest daughter took a picture, and it's me standing up, and I'm just petting on Shelby, man. She is struggling. And my wife's on a couch about like this, just reading a magazine, because she's been there. She knows.
Yeah, she knows.
I played that game.
I've done that.
Yeah, done that 3 times.
Yeah, she'll be okay.
But that's just who I was as her dad.
Yeah.
And the backstory is this: Lauren, our oldest daughter, is not really mine. When I married my wife, Lauren was a year old. Lauren don't know life without me, and I don't remember life without Lauren. I just don't. So Shelby was my first.
Yeah.
And she had me by the finger. When the day she was born, she had me, and she knew it. You know, she just knew she had me. So that's where me and her were so tight. She was daddy's girl, all of that. If you see a picture of her being a baby, I'm probably holding her. I'm probably the one holding her. That's just who I was with her.
Yeah.
So when Cash comes along, I just, I'm like, man, she don't know what she's getting into. She don't know what being a parent is like. She don't know it's hard if you're clean and sober, much less be messed up like you are, no money, no nothing.
Yeah.
And so I didn't really know what to do. I didn't, and as a man, husband, dad, whatever, man, to look at your wife and kids with no answers, you're like, yeah, I don't know.
Did y'all hope that would have helped her get?
And the truth is, I think it did for a little while until
because she did get some sobriety on her.
Yeah, she did. So she got in some trouble while she was pregnant. So they furloughed her sentencing.
Yeah.
And so she has the baby, and at the hospital is when they go back to delivery. It's my wife goes back to delivery with her, and then in the waiting room is me, my wife, my daughter, my son, and a good family friend, and a DHS worker over in the corner. She was super nice. Didn't say anything to us much. I mean, she said I knew who she was, but super nice. When Cash was born, he come out clean, and so she left and kind of decompressed the whole room. Like, okay, we don't have to battle that now.
Yeah, we don't have to battle
because I didn't know how we were going to get him when she was living with us and it's happening.
Yeah,
I couldn't fix that problem. Now, later I learned that addicts will have a buddy drop a pill or something off down the corner at a stop sign, and you'll go walk down there and pick it up. I learned that. Stuff you learn after things are going on. You're like, crap, there's no way to 100% proof this thing. I can't fix everything.
No.
Anyway, we got through all of that. And actually, it helped Shelby. After she was born, after Cash was born, we had to go back to court for the furlough. And that's when we sent her to Chattanooga, and she OD'd and stuff down there. That's when all that story happened. Then she got kicked out, of course.
Yeah.
I don't know. Her attorney, Josh Crane in Murfreesboro, super good guy. I done a podcast with him on New Year's Day about this whole deal. And he would tell you, and if you listen to his podcast, he'll tell you, dealing with Shelby was one of the nicest clients he ever had. She was so nice and so sweet. And that's her being in trouble is not who she really was.
Right.
And it just kind of like, I mean, I'm wrong. She was an envelope push and all that, but now she was, other than to me and Rachel, she was super nice to everybody else. Now we're mom and dad, and that's just the way that's just the way it is. Everybody knows how you treat your mom and dad sometimes,
especially in the early 20s. Right. For sure.
Yeah. So it's one of them deals. But she gets kicked out of that Chattanooga place. Well, Josh worked out a deal with the judge that if she can find another one to take her, they can do that. So I'm like, all right, we got a chance here. We got another chance. We called back Cicadas, and they took her back, but she couldn't take the baby back. And so that puts her down there for a 12-month program, but we got to have the kid. And I would love to tell you, man, I was all in. Man, here I am, 47 years old. We're empty nested. Me and my wife are empty nesters. Our youngest one's in college.
Yeah.
Well, it's our time. Now I got this baby. And I jokingly tell people, I said, I didn't want to do it. We did it because that's what my wife said we're going to do. And that's what we did.
Right.
I mean, that's just the truth about it.
Right.
And my wife would tell you that there's some days I wasn't happy about it. And that's just me being real with everybody I tell the story to. I'm not here to tell you something that didn't happen.
Right. No.
I'm just being real. I'm being human with you. I'd like to tell you I was perfect through this whole thing, but I was not perfect through this whole thing. But we kept him, and then she goes to Cicadas down there, Chattanooga, and we'd go down there about every other week or at least once a month to see her. And Shelby, by this time, had earned her car back. She'd earned her job back. She'd earned free weekend visits in Chattanooga. I mean, do whatever. Now, you got drug tests every time you come back in, but, she gets down there 11 months, and they call and said, hey, Shelby's got one more class, and she graduates. I'm thinking, good. The class is in Murfreesboro. Like, are you kidding me? I mean, look, I couldn't, who am I to say anything again? They're the one dealing with her.
Yeah.
She come back to Murfreesboro. I don't think she ever went to a class. I think she was back in jail within a month or so. That's where my frustration really got bad, because you
had 11 months.
You had 11 months clean and sober and looking great.
And you went right back.
You went right. As soon as you come to this town is your trigger.
Yeah.
Friends are your trigger.
It's that thing that we have to teach clients here. Sometimes you have a client that you see that constantly relapses in their hometown, basically.
Yeah.
And then you're like, you're going to have to change people, places, and things.
Yeah.
Like, you've got to change where you live, because you're never going to get sobriety in your town.
Right. It's just not there. You got too many bad habits over here.
It's too many bad habits, bad memories.
Yeah.
Friends that will persuade you to do it. Yeah. Oh, you had 11 months clean. It's just one time. It's not going to get you up.
Yeah. Well, I think it's one of the deals. You're going down the road, and man, I used to turn right here. I think I will.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a right today just to see if he's still there.
Yeah. When she says I'm gonna go hang out with friends, well, crap, that ain't good.
Yeah,
I know who your friends are.
Right. Your whole friend list is terrible.
Yeah. But anyway, we go through all of that. And she went to the workhouse for 18 months. 18 months in the county workhouse. It got so bad. Cash is 2 and 3 years old at this point. He's like, we go by the workhouse. He said, that's where Mama lives. I didn't tell him it was jail. I said, yep, that's where Mama lives. I just let it at that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not here to destroy it. Look, to this day, I don't say anything bad about Shelby because I want him to know his mother was a great person.
Right. Absolutely.
What happened to her, he'll find out later.
Yeah.
And I'll get to that in a minute. But so we take Cash every Wednesday to go see her at the workhouse. I can visualize my head of him picking up that phone and looking in that camera and seeing her on there, you know what I'm saying, and just talking back and forth. But she was there 18 months. She got out a week before her birthday and was back in trouble on her birthday.
Wow.
I mean, it's 18 months we just spent clean and sober, and you're back in trouble in a week? Don't tell me it's not your people. You know?
Yeah, it's definitely people, places, things.
Yeah, so I mean, I was just like, man, so I just, it got very frustrating when she'd see her so clean, and so I don't want to do that no more, Dad. I don't want to live like this, Dad. I don't want to. Awesome.
And then as soon as she goes sees her friends for the first time.
Yeah, they just, and I'm not saying we're wealthy people or anything like that. What I'm saying is Shelby had it better than they had it, just in life better. You know what I'm saying? So, and they knew it. So I almost think sometimes that was their attraction. She's better than we are. Look, there's nobody better than anybody in this world.
Absolutely.
Everybody puts their pants on the same way. Everybody does everything the same way. You need to understand that. Just because I've never been an addict doesn't make me better than an addict.
Absolutely.
What I tell addicts is this. Just because you're an addict means you made a bad choice. You're not a bad person. You got to fix your choice making. Let's help you do that.
Yeah, let's help you make better choices.
Yeah, so a few things happened. I told you about the busting out window part. That happened right after she got out of the workhouse. And then another thing happened. My wife was home with Cash one day, and she dropped a can of Coke on the floor and picks it up when it's upside down, where every Coke can you see's got a dip in the bottom of it. And Cash said, Mama puts fire under there at 3 years old. And I nailed her on it. You know what I mean? I absolutely, Shelby, I could not set him down and tell him what I was doing. He had to see it. He had to see it, Shelby. To this day, Cash is 10 years old. If things get sporadic or especially a man's loud voice he'll hide behind me or Rachel. It just, somewhere he's been freaked him out at a young age. Now he's getting better, but he still has that, something happens weird, fast.
Yeah, like he remembers being some mama being yelled at or a loud voice.
Yeah, something went down somewhere, something, and so she must have shoved him behind her at that time
to protect her, to protect him.
Yeah, so so that happens. It's like I say, it's getting a whole lot better, but it's when he was younger, it was bad. And I mean, don't get me wrong, he's 10, he's a Mimi boy. He will not hardly leave my wife's side. If I'm going somewhere and hey Cash, you want to go with me? Is Mimi going? No, I'll stay with Mimi. That's just the way he is. But I don't care. That's fine.
Yeah.
But if I'm going to get ice cream, he's with me. Let's go. Shelby had it goes flying through that windshield that day. To me, that was strike two. We get through life, and she takes some swings at me. That was Mother's Day of 2019. Labor Day weekend of 2018. The reason I know it's Labor Day weekend is because our sons are starting quarterback at college over in North Carolina, and we're all going.
Yeah.
Shelby was going. Cash always went with us anyway. The Coke can story had just happened, and I told Shelby before that if you're going to keep on, I'm going to get emergency custody of him. I hear another thing, I catch you around so and so. So I gave her a few lists of. I'm telling you, Shelby, if I see it, I'm done. I'm done with all that. And so the Wednesday of the week we're going to do that. Rachel sees her with that drug dealer, and I told Rachel go to the attorney and get emergency custody of him. I'm not going to deal with it. I'm tired of dealing with that part. I'm tired of worrying about it because. Cash was always free to go. It's her son.
Yeah.
I can't tell her to take him or not to take him. I can't, that's not my.
Yeah.
I had to stop it.
Yes.
So Rachel went and done that. So that Thursday, Shelby calls me Thursday night. I hadn't talked to her. We got custody of Cash, and she calls. And so me and my wife go back in the bedroom, and I put the phone on speakerphone, and I got on my hands and knees, or my knees really. And I wanted to talk straight into the phone. I didn't want to be above the phone. I didn't want to be here, doing this, and I wanted her to hear what I had to say. I answered the phone, and she said, "Hey, Dad, what time are we leaving tomorrow? Because we left on Fridays." And I said, "Shelb, I got something to tell you that you may not want to go after I tell you. You're still welcome to go, but you may not want to go." I said, "Me and Mom went and got emergency custody of Cash." From that moment on, for the next, it seemed like 30 minutes, but about 5 or 6 minutes, she called my wife everything but Mom. I'm talking about everything. And I would periodically say, "Shelby, that's Mom. She's on your team. Shelby, that's my wife. You're about to cross the line with me. I'm just telling you." I don't let anybody disrespect my wife, and her kids sure ain't going to do it.
Right.
She gets mad and hangs up on me. Of course, I'm consoling my wife and says she don't mean any of that. She's
mad.
Mad.
That's just saying.
Look, she's mad, and I know why she's mad. I knew it. But she calls back, and I tell my wife, leave the room, and I answered it, and I talked to her the way she talked to her mother. And when I got through, I said, Shelby, all them words are just words. You know I love you. I didn't do it to hurt you. I done it to help Cash. I want to make sure that baby's okay.
Yeah.
I want you to work on Shelby. Let me and Mom work on. We'll take care of Cash, and when you get better, you can have your son back. I don't want to be proud of the way I raised him. I want to be proud of the way you raised him.
Yeah.
That's what I want to be proud of. And she would pop off and say, you wanted him anyway. I said, oh, Shelby, if me and Mom wanted 4 kids, we'd have had another one.
Yeah.
3 was too many. I'll be honest with you. Some days it was like, woo, what do we do? But anyway, it's just where we were at. I understood why she was. I got it. I'm saying I'm not, So she didn't come around for a couple months. We didn't hear much from her. Rachel would hear from her periodically, but I would never, because I was the guy that had to tell the truth. Not that my wife never lied to her.
Yeah.
She could tell it softer than I can tell it.
Right.
She's just Mom.
Yeah.
Mom's not trying to hurt her feelings. I'm just going to say it because she needs to know it.
Yeah.
And so that went on for a little while, and then Mother's Day came around, she swings at me, and we get to Cash's 3rd birthday party, and we had it at a public place, at an urban air trampoline place, whatever the things are. And Shelby come with a new boyfriend. She come in, she looked nice, makeup on, dressed nice, whatever. That boyfriend come in basketball shorts and a wife beater t-shirt. Hadn't had a shower in a month. It kind of pissed me off, to be honest. Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was disrespecting us. You can't look no better than that coming to a public place with our family.
Right.
I was in the bathroom, and he was on the toilet side, and I was on the urinal side. It was just a 2-stall bathroom. I turned to look at the door, so I could lock that door and beat the crap out of that dude. Ain't nobody gonna hear stop me. The door's locked.
Right.
I can just do it. But I thought enough to think, if I do that, when I open that door and go back outside, I got problems. It's going to push Shelby further from me. I'm going to make a public embarrassment because she's going to yell at me and scream. And, so I didn't want to do that. We had cousins and nephews and nieces. I didn't want to do that. We get done. We got to the parking lot. And the last thing I said to Shelby when she was living was this: Shelby, I love you. If I can help you, call me. That's all you got to do. I'm here to help you. Now, Shelby went to court 8, 9 times, and I was at court every time. I never got out of any trouble. Right. I wanted her to know I'm right here.
I'm here.
I'm here for you. Now, you done something wrong, you got a price to pay. I can't fix that.
Yeah.
But I need you to know I'm right here for you. My wife would never go, just upset my wife. And I tell people, me and my wife were raised different on the nice side of the tracks. And I was raised on a little rougher. Not that either way is good or bad.
Right.
But it's just different.
Right.
I jokingly tell people, like, even today, if I go home, I just go out and roll up my dad's. I don't call them and see if they're home. I just roll up to my parents' house.
Right.
Her family's not that way. They will call every time and say, hey, is y'all home? We'll come over. And we just roll on them in there.
Yeah, we just.
What do you do if they're not home? I guess we missed. I guess. That's how we are. So anyway, that was the last time we seen Shelby alive. She died 3 weeks later. The week she died, I say this, and this is the truth. God had mercy on our family. God showed us grace. Rachel was in Texas on a real estate. She sells real estate, not big time. She just does it because she likes to look at houses. Anyway, her and another friend of ours went to Texas for a real estate deal, and I had Cash by myself. And I'm thinking, not a big deal. I've raised 3 other ones. This is not a big deal. He's 4, and he's potty trained was the biggest deal.
Yeah, that's the best part. That's the best part.
I didn't worry about that. But anyway, and I'm having fun with him. Monday, I'm taking pictures. Hey, we're at Hardee's because Mimi's not home to cook us breakfast. Hey, we're at Longhorn tonight because Mimi's not here to cook supper. I'm just having fun with Rachel back and forth, shooting pictures and stuff.
Yeah.
Rachel calls on Tuesday and says, I said, hey, have you talked to Shelby? She said, no. I said, okay. Well, it ain't weird that I hadn't talked to her, but it's kind of weird that Rachel hadn't. But I say that, but then not really, because she knew Rachel was in Texas. So she knew not, probably ain't going to bother Mom. I said, well, I may call Shelby in the morning, see if she wants to go with us. Cash was playing football for the first time, going to get cleats and mouthpiece, whatever he needed, we were going to get. And I said, I may call Shelby and see if she wants to go with us. I woke up next morning, didn't call her. Thought about it, but didn't. And if I would have, doesn't mean she was going to answer.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I didn't call her. She died that day. What if I make the phone call?
Right.
That's something I have to live with. Now, I don't sit here and what if myself. I don't guarantee she's going to answer the phone. But what if I did?
Right.
What if she don't shoot up that day? She's with me.
Yeah.
She's with me. She's not going to shoot up while she's with me.
Right.
But I didn't. Do I regret it? Sure, I regret it. But I didn't know. That night I'm at a cookout and a buddy asked me, he said, you okay? And I said, something's wrong. I don't know what. Was not thinking death. Wasn't thinking anything about it. At this time, I don't even know.
You had that.
Something's wrong in my world. Something's wrong.
Yeah, you got that aura.
Yeah, so we go home. Rachel flies in on Thursday night. And Rachel gets a text Friday morning from Rhonda Rush. who's now a peer, and she was in the workhouse with Shelby for 18 months.
Yeah.
And Shelby would hang around Rhonda, and I'd say, I don't know what you're hanging around her for. She ain't no smarter than you. That's what I'd say. Rhonda's older than me and does the same stuff you do. It's stupid.
Yeah.
Anyway, I didn't know Rhonda was becoming a recovery peer. I didn't know all that. Shelby never told me that. If it was, I'd have pushed her to her.
Yeah, but you need to hang out with her.
Look, because it ain't going to be me. It's going to be another friend helping you.
Yeah,
because you're not going to listen to me anymore. So Rhonda texted and said, I'm so sorry. And Rachel called her back and said, what are you sorry for? She said, you don't know? Know what? Shelby died Wednesday.
Whoa.
So Rachel didn't know and I didn't. So here's the truth. This is where I say God had mercy on us. What if I get that phone call from Rhonda on Wednesday afternoon? What if Rachel gets it in Texas by herself? How am I going to get her home from Texas on a plane by herself?
Yeah.
What if I know and I got to keep the secret until she gets home?
Right.
How am I going to keep that from my wife? So when Rachel's talking to Rhonda, I come around the corner into the kitchen and she was at our offices. And our son was home from college and he's hugging her. And I said, it's Shelby, ain't it? He went, I knew Wednesday. I didn't know that I knew, but I knew.
You knew Wednesday.
Yeah. So, and we'd all know Wednesday if we went to her Facebook page, because it was all over there, Rest High, all that stuff that people put on, all that stuff was on there. I just didn't go to her Facebook page because I didn't like anything on it. So I just never went to her page. I will tell you the last thing Shelby posted was in the lines of, I know my dad loves me. Because I told her all the time. August the 5th, when she posted it. I'm like, Shelby, as a dad, you're like, what? So I tell people this. So I got a wife crying, I got a son crying, and I got a 4-year-old grandson looking at. He says, Uncle Rai, why is Mimi and G-Daddy crying? I had to pick him up. I set him down and said, hey, buddy, Mama had an accident. That's all I told him. But now I tell you, as a husband, whatever, when you're looking at your family, you have no answer. You're like, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say to my wife. The truth is, she don't know what to say to me.
Yeah.
Now, the good thing we did, we had people call us and say, hey, don't let this hurt your marriage. Our marriage is stronger than that. We don't blame each other. We did all we knew to do at that time. Is there things I know different today? Yeah, probably so. I didn't know then. Frustration was set in. I was tired of dealing with it. I'm like, I don't know what to do. She's not listening to anything. I don't know what to do with it. But to have to call my parents. So Cash's name is Jason Cash. Jason is a family name, and it came from my brother who died at 13 months old. I was 5. I was the only kid home when it happened. He died of crib death, SIDS.
Yeah. Nothing
wrong, but my little sisters are our grandparents. My older brother was at school, and to hear my mother scream like that, I can remember in my mind like it happened last night. It just is something that burns in my mind. And know that my parents been divorced for 40 years at that time. My mom lives up in Illinois. To have to call my mother and know that I'm fixing to send her back in 1975.
Right.
I know my mom mentally. I know her.
Right back to that devastation.
Yeah. So I called my aunt who lives close to her. I said, hey, can you go over to Mom? I need to tell her something. And my aunt was nice. She said, you want me to tell her? I was like, no, I got to tell her. So she calls me and said, hey, I'm in your mom's driveway. I said, okay, I'll give you a couple minutes to get inside. And I did. And I called my mom. And I said, hey, Mom, Shelby passed away. Did you hear that scream? I heard it again.
Yeah.
Golly.
And I know that scream because, like, where we were talking about my mom didn't get her liver the other day.
Yeah.
I was like, I've heard my mom cry so many different ways.
Yeah.
But a devastation cry is like, it pierces.
Yeah. It just hits your heart so hard. You're like, oh my gosh. Like I told you earlier, me and my dad worked together. He worked for me then. He was in St. Louis, Missouri. I called him. I said, hey, Dad, are you empty? He said, yeah. I said, okay. Don't worry about that next load. He said, what's going on? So I told him, I said, Shelby passed away. I seen him in about 5.5 hours from St. Louis. And he moved on to come see me. Took 2 weeks off to be with me. I'm not saying he's with me every day. I can tell you this, when he was around, funeral home visitation, funeral day, I could turn around and he was right behind me. He was 10 feet from me all the time.
Well, because that's a parent's biggest fear.
Yeah.
Is to have to bury your child.
Yeah, well, he told me, he said, to watch you go through what me and your mother went through, it's unbearable some days. It's like,
Because they knew that pain already.
Yeah, they knew the pain. They knew what I was going through.
Yeah.
They knew, I mean, I don't know. I mean, Shelby was older than Jason, sure, but it doesn't make it any less.
Right.
Doesn't make it any. And my dad would probably tell you it's probably a little easier because Jason was only 13 months old. Not a ton of memories there.
Yeah.
Me, 26 years, I got a ton of memories. I got a ton of things we did. I got a ton of things our family did.
Yeah.
But I'll never forget when they went to close the casket. It's me and my wife and our daughter and her husband, their daughter, and our son. And just watching them all cry, I'm like, I don't know what to tell them. There's no way I can make them feel better. There's nothing I'm going to say.
No.
And I tell you this, me and Rachel's anniversary is August the 23rd. Shelby died on the 14th. The funeral director, Corey Gilly in Woodbury small town, so you get to know about everybody. It's a super, super good lady. Had a good friend call her and said, hey, Shelby's passed away. Can you help us find her? So I told her, I said, Shelby's got a big tattoo on her side, big cross says love never fails. They found her in Davidson County under the unknown. Had nothing on her. Shelby died in a homeless tent in Laverne, in a public floor that her boyfriend just left her. He found her and just left. No phone calls, no nothing, just left her. Now, people ask you, do you want to kill him, kick his butt, whatever you want to do? I used to. But you know what? He's got to live with that. He's the one that did that part of it.
Right.
He's the one that gave her the drug. I'm not saying she wouldn't have taken it anyway. I'm just saying you left her. You wasn't decent enough to even call anybody. That's how bad of a person I think you really are. But you got to live with that. I don't have to live with that. Now, I will tell you this. Do I think Shelby did not do everything right? No, she didn't. She deserved better than that. But it's not just Shelby. Everybody deserves better than that. Every addict deserves. Nobody wants to be there anyway, but you don't deserve that.
You definitely don't deserve it, Jane Doe.
So, you know, it's just one of them deals. You're like, I don't get it. I don't understand why. But I don't know why that happened in our lives. It just did. You know, it just, you know. I jokingly laugh about it now. I'm like, here I am raising a 10-year-old. Like, I've got the energy to do that. I'm getting the energy for it. I mean, as frustrated as I was when she got pregnant, I'm so glad today I have him.
On that note, like, now that he's 10 and understands stuff a little better, like, I mean, I'm sure he's asked about it.
He's never asked.
He's never asked?
Never asked. I do so much of this here lately. He's figuring it out.
Yeah.
I'll tell you how smart the kid is. So we do a flyer for our car show, and I got one in that folder I'll show you. But this year's car show coming up, we were leaving Dollywood, and we stopped at a rest area, and how you get those pamphlets there, see Rock City, see Dollywood, all that stuff. So we're leaving there, and he said, hey, G-Daddy, why don't we do this for the car show? And I said, tell me what you mean. He said, on the front of it, you put about the car show, the date, and stuff like that. When you open it up, over here on the left side, you put Mama's story. On the right side of it, you put our mission for what we're doing. And then when you open it all the way up, you have all the car show info. I thought, man, that's pretty slick for a 10-year-old boy.
That is sharp.
But it lets me know that he's thinking about it.
Yeah.
He thinks about what we're doing.
He still thinks about her.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. This year's car show, July 25, Rachel said you need to say more about Shelby because I bring her up, but I don't want to be the guy that just wears people out about the story. If you want to hear it, I'll tell you. But I'm not here to just rub it in your face. I'm not here to just beat you down about my daughter. I'm not here to do that. But I said, okay, I'll bring it up. And we had it on this year on Cash's birthday weekend. And so I'm telling a little bit about Shelby. Look, most people come to our car show. It's called Showing Off for Shelby. Know what we're doing, know what we're raising the money for.
Yeah.
They know why we're doing it. But so I just bring it up a little bit. And so I returned to ask my wife a question. And when I did, I seen Cash just bawling. I shut it off. I cut it off. I'm not here to hurt the little boy's feelings. I just started singing tomorrow's his birthday. We're going to sing happy birthday. We had cake and ice cream. I let the whole crowd just sing happy birthday to him. And it's amazing to me how many people come to our car show. Where's that boy at? Where I want to see the boy. I want to see the boy. He's part of the story. I know whether he likes it, he loves part of it. You know, he loves it. But like he's getting big enough now where I let him take my golf cart and just ride around. Like he'll hand out some flyers, hand out some stuff. I let him he's part of it. This year I let him have a walkie-talkie and talk to people, you know, with working and stuff. I just let him be part of it. You're old enough to be part of it.
Yeah, because I mean, this will be something he'll be able to carry on at some point. You know, once he gets of age, to carry the foundation on.
Yeah.
You were talking off camera. The foundation started this past October, right? 2025.
Yep.
So you had about a 4 or 5 year period grieving and stuff before you started the foundation. What made you decide to start the foundation?
Well, I talking to we had a little boy join our Cash plays baseball. I had a kid join our team, and when his dad come in, I'm like, man, I recognize him somewhere. I don't really know. But when they said Cash's name, he said, "Hey, wait on it." And then they knew Rachel's name. They said, "Wait a minute, you're Shelby's mom and dad." I'm like, "Yeah." And so we just got to be talking. You know, I call him the warden at the workhouse in Rutherford County. He's really the superintendent, I guess is his official name.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let him get away with it. It's the warden. But we were at a birthday party, a 9-year-old birthday party, whatever it was. And so we were sitting at a table at a public place, and he said, "Tell me a little bit about Shelby." And so I told him about my story and stuff. He said, "You need to tell it." And I'm like, "Bill, I'm not a public speaker. I'm not anything." He said, "No, but you got a great story. People need to hear it from your point of view." I'm like, "Man, I guess." So I went to the workhouse. First place I ever spoke was the workhouse.
Where she was
at. And I asked the question when I got up there. I said, "Hey, how many of you were in here with Shelby?" And about 6 little girls and about 3 or 4 guys. I was like, "Holy moly. It's been 6 years." Right at it almost. And look, you only go to the workhouse for so long.
Yeah.
So you've had to get out and come back. What are you doing?
Yeah.
That was just my take on it. Nothing against them. You know, nothing against anybody. I just couldn't believe that people knew. And like I've Murfreesboro, I spoke in Waverly right before Christmas. And a kid came up and said, "I went to school with Shelby." I'm like, "What in the world?" So I probably spoke several places, probably 7, 8, 9 people come say, I knew Shelby. I was on the street with Shelby. I was on whatever.
But that's cool in a way, because it's like she's there.
Yeah, people knew her. And I spoke the first time I spoke at the workhouse. Then I told you about Chris Smith. He's got his place is called Alliance Housing over in Milan.
Yeah.
And I spoke there one night, and a guy come over and he said, "I heard you speak in Murfreesboro. Keep going." I'm like, it's just my confirmation to.
Yeah.
I mean, when I told you about the little girl I seen in Savannah, Tennessee the other night, it breaks my heart when I see these young, I guess because Shelby was a girl, so it breaks my heart about girls.
Yeah.
Especially younger ones. I thought, man, somebody's taking advantage of them.
And I agree with you. Like, I get attached to the ones that are around my kids' age. They're 23 and 21. So when I see them 18, 19, early 20s, they're the ones that just, you know, when I lost my first client when I was working at the ranch, he went home and he was gone within 4 days. And he was going back to a bad situation, and I was trying to get him to stay a little bit longer, because I was really wanting him to stay a little bit longer so I could try to talk him into going to recovery housing instead of going home, because I had a bad feeling.
Right.
And me and him was literally connected at the hip the whole time he was there.
Yeah.
So I was at work, and then my boss came in and was like, "I need you to sit down." And they were like, you know, so-and-so passed, and you know, and because, I mean, I'm just a worker there, but like, it just shows you how much the workers get involved with these people. And so, like, you know, we did a whole funeral. His mama came down to where I was working at. We did a whole funeral by the creek down there and stuff. And so, like, I understand when you say you see the younger ones, and it just, because those are the ones I'm just like, you know, I just want to show you there's a way better life. Like, I want to do everything in my power. If I can't save the 60-year-old man, which I want to save them all.
Right.
I have a 19-year-old come in. I want to make sure, one, that I love on them every day, to show that there's a such thing as being loved. I'm going to love you through your mistakes and everything, but I am going to pour everything I have in me for everybody. But them younger ones, it's like
it's just a different level.
Yeah, because, well, first of all, they're young and they think they're invincible.
Right.
And then, you know, especially if they've young and they've overdosed several times, now they're on a different level of instability. Like, they're like, nothing's going to take me out.
Yeah.
And then they're gone.
Yeah, and I guess I could sit here and think about it real quick. Is like, okay, Shelby had those 3 strikes or so, whatever. I didn't even get into the story about her having shoulder surgery and ended up being her heart, or their drugs were ripping her heart apart. But anyway, I'm thinking, okay, so she survived all this stuff, so she probably does think she's invincible. That ain't nothing gonna happen to me.
Yeah, and like, a lot of people are like, well, she, you know, when somebody overdoses, you know, they're like, oh, they took too much. Most of the time, they're taking the same amount. It's just it had more fentanyl in it than what they were used to taking. It's not that it's usually still the same amount. It wasn't the same product.
Yeah.
And so, like, that's why most overdoses, if you watch on the news, they'll say, I'll give you an example. We were just talking about Heath Ledger today.
Yeah.
Today's 18 years he's been gone. You right? Accidental overdose.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, it happens. You know, nobody no addict was like, oh, today I'm just gonna,
Yeah, I'm done today.
yeah,
Yeah.
usually when they're done, that's when they come to us and,
Yeah.
they're praying. They're like,
Yeah.
God help me.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, you would know better than me because this is what you do. But for Shelby's, I wouldn't say. I don't know that most common addicts are suicidal.
Yeah. I will agree with you on that.
Yeah, I don't think they're not there to really hurt themselves. The truth is, they don't really want to hurt their family.
No.
They just don't know how to get out of what they're doing.
Right. And they don't know they don't know a healthy coping skill to deal with whatever it is that's happened to them at some point in their life. Like even an accidental addiction, like if you go from pain pills to meth, so to say. Well, once you get on meth and you're doing everything you got to do to get that drug, well, then that's a whole lot of trauma that's usually happening.
Yeah.
Men taking advantage of you.
Yeah.
And then at that time, now you got the shame on top of it, and then the guilt because your parents feel bad. So like, and then it's that never-ending cycle that you have to try to break. And so like, I'm with you. I've never met an addict in the rooms that I've been in where an addict was like, I'm a suicidal addict. I've never heard that term. Me, mental health, I was suicidal every day.
Yeah.
Like mine was a different type of thing.
Yeah, like you said, you'd get raised or stuff. I see that blows my mind.
Yeah. Well, see, I tell you I have to look at it as a funny story now. When I went to the ranch, I was on, of course, the men or women are separated. So like most self-harmers are women. Like statistically shows that women self-harm more than men. So when I went to the ranch the first time, it was 10 of us in a house. I was wearing a pair of shorts and you could see my scars on my upper thighs. I don't really have no scars no more where I went so long without self-harming, and I used like vitamin E and coconut butter and stuff to help get my scars away. But I went in and I had all these scars on my legs, and none of the men in that house had ever heard of a man that self-harms. They were not scared of me, but like they were like kind of timid and be like, explain that to me.
Yeah. Right. And I would be the same way.
Yeah.
Me and my just having humor about it, I'd say, watch out for bro, man. He'll cut you.
Right. I mean,
He'll
I was
cut himself.
right.
You know
I was on restriction. I couldn't even hold a knife the whole time I was at the ranch.
Really?
The first time, like the first time I was there, I was on knife restriction, and I still found a way to relapse while I was in treatment. I couldn't knife myself, but then I bit myself from my here all the way down to here to the point where I bled, and they had to like do treatments on me and stuff. So like, it's just, but like you said, like I've been in this field now for almost 3 years. I have not had an addict that said I'm suicidal. They're just an addict.
You're just an addict. They're not really there to self-harm.
Yeah.
They're just there to not deal with real world stuff.
Absolutely.
That's just where I'm at with it. I just, I don't look. I used to look down on addicts. This is why I say to addicts. I said, look here. For 5 years, I thought addicts are a problem in our society. The truth is, society is a problem for our addict. We have to learn how to help you get through them.
That is one of the better statements I've heard, because I also, before I went to get help, I looked down on addicts. I looked down on homeless people. Like I looked down on all them people, and then once I went to treatment and realized that addicts and homelessness and mental health, we're all together. And when they're sober and they're in recovery, are literally some of the most loving, gentle people on earth. And it's just that they've been hurt and don't know how to deal with the hurt.
Yeah.
And so like they either hurt themselves like I did, or they become addicts. And once I got in that room and realized how much the people in that room that we're all a bunch of misfits and addicts and mental health illness, how much brotherhood and how much there was true, genuine love in the room, I was like, I've been backwards. The world is screwed up.
Yeah.
The addicts are loving people that don't know how to handle the world.
No. I point out to, if I'm speaking when I point to a window, I said, that's a bad world out there. Not much love out there much anymore. You have to fight for yourself. Your life is worth fighting for. Fight for it. If you have parents, fight for them. If you have kids, fight for them. You're loved. I promise you, you're loved.
Absolutely.
Sometimes your parents don't know how to show it because they don't know how to deal with you.
Right.
But they love you.
And you got to think, some of the parents were still brought up with the boomer generation. My dad, he, whatever's before Gen X, what is that, boomer? And then my papa was a golden age. And, he fought in Vietnam. So like, they're like, we're Gen X, so like us, we got brought up by the, we got brought up hard.
Yeah. We lived out of fear.
Yeah.
We got brought up, hey man, you going to do it? Or at our house around, I jokingly tell my dad this now. My dad would tell me, my dad, but he always tell people, I want to give my kids choices. Now, he said weed eat, do that, or I'm going to kick your butt and then you're going to weed eat. It's however you want to do it.
Yeah, I mean, either way, you're going to do it.
Yeah.
It's just what step are we going to take
Yeah,
first?
it don't matter to me. I prefer you take one.
Right.
But
Don't really want to exert the energy for two, but like,
I will. So it's one of them deals you're like, I guess that.
And for our generation, raising kids, we try to be a little more open with our children, which is kind of like messed the world up a little bit even more now because like we let them have a whole lot of choices. So like now it's kind of jazzed up.
Well, I think our generation was softer on our kids than we were.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say as to a fault,
but in a way, yeah.
But in a way, yes. I was raised where I'm not saying I couldn't go talk to my dad, but it had to be bad before I go talk to him.
Right. Because like my papa, I knew my papa loved me, but do I ever remember my papa saying I love you?
Right.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Once I became a young adult, he wouldn't even give me hugs no more. It was handshakes.
Yeah.
Because I'm a man now,
Right. Right.
And my dad, I know my dad loves me, but until recently, he was never big on saying I love, because he was brought up the same way.
Right.
So he was taught not to show emotions.
Yeah. So that's the way I was brought up.
I
mean, we just lost my older brother almost 2 years ago. Be July 2 years. Now, me and my dad hug now and tell you that we love each other. But that's where my brother brought us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying we didn't do it a little bit before then, but now it's I love you, Dad.
Yeah.
I know that my dad has 2 stepsons. I'm his only real son. You know what I'm saying? So he gets it. I mean, we're like, he's like, it hurts him. He says, son, sometimes I always want to put you under a glass case and,
Yeah, of course.
You're my only one I got left. I know what he means. I'm not the only one he's got left. I know what he means by that.
Right.
You're my only living son.
Yeah, you're my blood. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're the family tree bearer.
You're it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
When you started the foundation, so when you had the conversation, that's what made you start the foundation? Like when you was at the birthday party, is that what got the foundation?
That's what got me speaking, yeah. Then so here's the deal. We've had the car show going we just had our 4th one.
Okay. And
so we've done that for another organization needing help raise money. And so we gave them money for the first 3 years. And not that they don't do good work. It's Steered Straight, great people, do a great work. But I thought, let's start a foundation and let's see what we can do with the money. Not that they weren't doing good, but I think for being the way I need to say it is this: I want to see some work, some money. I want to see our money going to work.
Right. Which is one reason why I started my foundation.
Yeah.
That
I want to see.
I want to do this because if this works and I can expand it to this other stuff, which I'm going to talk about in just a few minutes.
Yeah. But
then like me having lived experiences plus working in the field, I'm like, okay, I've got more experience in this than a lot of people in general,
right.
And so like, I'm like you, I want to see it. I don't mind giving money to foundations like yourself or Alan with Chase Away Fentanyl.
Yeah.
But now I want to get in the game too, because I want to hit it from a living addict side that's also got work experience in the recovery field to do ideas that I know would have helped me if I first got out that I didn't have resources for.
Yeah. So before we got on air, we talked about Alan Vickers, Chase Away Fentanyl.
Yeah.
Does a great job. Does a great work. I hate he's going through what he's going through in his life.
Absolutely. We love you, Alan.
Yeah. I just hate he's going through that. Great dude. Great organization. Great everything. Love what he does. Does different work than what I do. I mean, he still speaks. Don't get me wrong. But his Narcan stuff, unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
I don't know anything about it. We talked about Quentin Clark Foundation.
Yes.
Anthony and Tanya. Great people.
Great
Need
people.
to have great people. I mean, I've met so many great people doing this. It's kind of, I hate to say it this way, but it's kind of, they feel the same way you feel.
Yeah.
They got the same problems.
Well, it's an automatic bonding.
Yeah, it's automatic. You got it right there. Now we can just look at each other and like.
It's like you almost start another family with those other foundations because like y'all are hurting parents that have lived through this.
Not that any parent's going to ask for it. We got it. We got to deal with it.
Yeah.
And I spoke up in Elizabeth in Tennessee, which is a long way up there.
It is.
Anyway, I spoke up there one night. You know how when you give a speech or you're talking and then you get done, you're kind of shaking hands with people. And there's this one little girl on the side over there. You just kind of like, she needs to say something to me.
Yeah, she wants to talk to me.
Yeah, so I walk over and said, can I help you, honey, anyway? She said, what do you do if your parents started you in drugs? I had no answers for her. The only thing, that's where I came up to her and I said, look, you have to fight your fight. You have to fight your fight. I'm sorry that happened to you. Fight your fight. And she had a little girl, 2 years old, I think she said she was. Fight your fight for you and fight your fight for her. I'm sorry that your mom and dad done you that way. I've never heard of that. And I'm new in it. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, it happens.
That's a tough angle.
I mean, the one that passed away that I was talking, that's how he got into it.
Like,
his parents.
No, I wouldn't say this. Your parents didn't get you in to kill you.
No.
But they don't know much more either.
They didn't have really good decisions at the time either.
I can be cynical or whatever, say, hey, look, there's a whole lot of stupidity running around.
Yeah.
And that's true. Look, I've done stupid stuff too. But I tell people, look, I have never been in trouble. I've never been in the back of a cop car. I've never had handcuffs on. I've never had any of that. So that side of the world I know nothing about. I know this side of the world more than I want to know it.
Right.
Let me help that side of the world.
Yeah.
That's what I think. I think that's what I can do. I think it's what I can help do. I can't. I don't know if you're ever going to fix everything.
No.
I think on this, you're fighting an uphill battle with Big Farm. You're probably never going to win. You got individual wins.
Yes, and that's
what you got to keep focused.
That's what I do. Like, since I got in the field, I've probably helped 200-300 guys working in both facilities that I've worked in. Have some of them relapsed? Absolutely. Has some of them passed away? Absolutely. Are a lot of them still going to the same meetings I go to because they're like, I love seeing you, Juice.
Yeah.
And like, you count them individual ones because in this field it's a losing battle anyway. Yeah. So like when you have wins, you hold them close to your heart. That way when you have a bad one, it don't sting as bad as the good ones, because like when you work in this field, you're gonna have a lot of losses.
Yeah. So when we started doing the car show and stuff, we started doing our own thing. And I say this, I want to help everybody. Everybody I can help, I want to help. What if we help somebody and then 5 years from now, they can come back to our cars and say, man, I've done it because you helped me. You got me through some stuff. What if the only person I ever help is my grandson?
Absolutely.
I don't know any answer. I don't know either answer. I think the first one to happen, you cannot talk to people. My speech is, man, I break down a lot. People in the crowd break down a lot.
Me too.
I'm one of them deals where I thought out, man, I didn't know how any of this was going to work. And so when you go to a house or a sober living house and you got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 guys, you're like, I don't know what difference I'm going to make. Man, them is the most emotional. When you're sitting on a couch like this and they're in a couch right across from me and it's just almost one-on-one, my goodness.
It's beautiful,
it does. It gets so emotional sometimes.
Because a lot of times when you're talking to them, you're talking it from the parent's point of view, something they've never thought about.
Yeah.
And so, like, you've hit them on a level that, like, that just gave me chills again for the third time today.
Yeah.
Like, you hit them on a level that they've never even thought about. And hell yeah, that's going to get emotional.
Yeah, so it's one of them deals where I left Savannah the other night before I got home. The lady that runs the house sent me 3 responses from girls that was there that night. It's unbelievable. It helps my heart.
Like, it does. Because it lets you know what you're doing is
good.
You're doing God's work.
Yeah, I'm doing what I think is good, and I think I can help them. It's not me helping. It's my words going to help. It's not my words. It's God's words going to help. Before I come here, I pray, Lord, just let me say the right things. When I go to a house, Lord, let me say the right things to help these people. I don't know what you want me to say. That's why I don't take any notes, because I don't want to be like,
right.
I don't want to be that way.
And see, that's how this podcast is.
Yeah.
Because, we told you, we just do a raw, uncut. We don't even know what we're going to talk about. We just get into it, and then magic happens.
Yeah. I think that's best. I think so if you get raw.
It's
honest,
authentic.
Yeah, all raw honesty. That's what I think.
I had somebody text me the other day because we was doing a live. And after the live was over, they was like, hey, if you would sit up straight, you would probably attract more viewers. And I'm like, well, I mean, I appreciate your feedback, but like, I don't sit up straight anyway because I got a bad back. As y'all see, I slouch a little bit.
Yeah, well, I'm going to be who I'm going to be.
Right. I'm not going to change who I am to my podcast.
Yeah. Like I tell people, when I go to speak, I'm going to wear blue jeans and that black shirt you always see me in, a pair of nice shoes. I'm not going to overdress the crowd. I'm not a suit and tie guy anyway.
No, well, see, to me, when I go in, I wear like I'm still in high school. Basically, I'm your basketball shorts, t-shirt, hoodies. Like, I mean, I'm only dressed up right now because it's the season 2 premiere. Because like we had to do a little different today.
I thought it was for me, but okay.
yeah, it's for you. But like when I go speak somewhere, I dress how I know my crowd's going to be, because like, I don't want to walk in the room dressed up for a situation just for them to already be like, oh, here comes Mr. Goody Two Shoes.
Yeah, right.
I'm not, and they're shut off before you even start talking. Right. So if you walk in, I got this hat on forward, I wear it forward, but like if I have on one of my fitted hats, you can ask him. That thing's cocked to the side, like, like I'm still in high school. So like when I walk in a room with my hat on backwards, they're like, "Oh, okay, this cat's a little older, but let's see what he's going to talk about."
Well, that's people know I'm no better than you.
I'm your level.
I have a philosophy. I do not wear blue jeans over 50 degrees. It's always shorts. And my dad just says, "Son, do you own any pants?" Yeah, I don't like them.
Yeah, when I worked with him, it was 3 degrees outside one day, right, with a wind chill below zero, and you could ask him. I had on a t-shirt and pants, loading up cars outside, and all the people, all the contractors was like, "Dude, are you cold?" I'm like, "Bro, yes, out here I'm cold, but like in there, I'm an order fulfillment guy, so I'm running one side of the store to the other, so like I'm burning up. So I don't wear pants. I wear pants when somebody says, "Hey, this is a pant event. I need you to wear." Like the other day, I was coming to work and my boss. Well, the next day, my boss texted me the night before. He's like, "Hey, Juice, tomorrow's a pant day. I need you to wear pants today. We got important people coming in." I was like, "Okay," but it's funny that people know me well enough to be like, "Hey, Juice, it's a pant event. Don't wear them cargo shorts because we need you to wear some pants."
Yeah, so like my first speech, if you see it, if you look back at my page, I'm wearing khaki shorts and just a black T-shirt.
Yeah,
and a Tennessee hat. I'm like, that's who I am. If you see me in Murfreesboro running around, that's probably what I'm wearing.
Right, and that's how I like with this, because I've had people call me and be like, "Do I need to prep for your show?" I'm like, "No," and they'll be like, "Do I need to wear something specific?" I was like, "Wear what you wear every day. Like, don't dress up.
Right.
Like, don't have to dress up for me. Please don't, because it's gonna make me look bad."
Yeah. So I just looked at you. I'm like, I'm wearing my T-shirts and blue jeans today. Now I would wear shorts today if it was been warmer.
Yeah.
But
so as we come to the end of this, and as a parent, if you could speak to parents right now and give one piece of advice for their child that's an addict, what's the one thing you would tell a parent that's having to deal with an addict that you wish you would have known earlier?
Well, a couple things come to mind. First, make sure your addict knows that they're loved. Make sure you come across with love. Make sure you do that. Make sure you're not, as I would call myself, the Debbie Downer. Don't always be a Debbie Downer. Listen to what they have to say. Now, they don't always tell you in the right tone, but you got to listen.
Yeah.
Be more open to what they're saying. Don't be like me, so shut off. But that's not right. It's not going to work. Don't be that way. Maybe try to explain why that may not work. But I'd shut her off. That ain't gonna work. That's who I was. And I'm not going to say I'm embarrassed by that. I'm not, because that's what I knew at the time.
Yeah.
So if I had to tell a parent, look, please, over anything, show love. Look, frustration, sure, but get over the frustration. Show love.
Feel the frustration behind closed doors.
Behind closed doors.
Hug that person
and love them. I don't care if it's a boy or a girl. You love them.
You love them. Absolutely.
And if I'm talking to the addict, I would say this, dealing with your parents. I would say this. When you're going through your addiction, you're trying to get clean or whatever you're going through, and you want patience and grace. You want patience and grace from people. You're trying to get yourself right. You deserve patience and grace. You need some of that. In return, when you're dealing with your parents or whoever's trying to help, have that same patience and grace. They need it too, because they don't know how to deal with you.
Yeah.
That's just the truth of all of this. This button head, it's never going to work.
It makes it worse.
Yeah. It pushed her away. I know, because I did it. That's just the truth between those two things.
I first of all, thank you for giving me the honor for you being on our show today. I've never had a story quite like yours on our podcast, and I'm honored that you came on to share her story with us. For anybody out there that's needing help, y'all can go to our website, www.morningjuice.com. Go to any of our social media at Morning Juice Pod. Dennis, thank you again for coming out.
If you don't care, I can get a plug in about our car show.
Heck yeah. I meant that. I want you to plug your foundation and your car show.
Well, let me start with the foundation then. If you need any speaking done on what I speak on, I'll be glad to come do it. I don't charge anything for it. I just want to help people. I want to help addicts get their lives back together. So I don't charge anything for that. If you're out of town outside Nashville area, I'm in Murfreesboro. This is Nashville. I don't mind coming here. Like, I'm going to Knoxville Tuesday, so I've done 2 events on Tuesday, just to make it worth my while. So if you're a little farther away, I may try to put yours with something. But anyway, I'd love to do it. Enjoy doing it. Our car show this year is June the 7th, 2 to 6 at Fiddler's Grove in Lebanon, Tennessee at the fairgrounds.
That's close.
It's our only fundraiser we do so far. There's other things we're looking at, but this is the only thing we've done so far. We've had 4 of them where we raised right around $100,000. We donate all of it to addiction stuff. It's coming up this year. That's our big fundraiser. We got a VIP on Saturday night. You can contact me about that on the Shelby Jordan Foundation page. We got a Facebook page called Showing Off for Shelby, car show, you can contact me on my personal page, Dennis Jordan. I don't care. I'm just here to get a message out. I'm just here to raise money to donate to help people. It takes money to help them.
Absolutely.
So our board wants to do that, and that's what we're going to do. Now we're looking at another fundraiser, and I'll get your opinion right quick. Everybody does a gala where they have a bring-in speaker or recovery fest. Them are all going on now, and I love all of them.
Yeah.
I'm just a different thinker. I think I'm going to put on a community fish fry.
That's a great idea. We have actually talked about doing one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, everybody loves fish fry.
Like me and him had talked about doing one for our foundation.
Yeah.
So like I think that's a actually absolutely great idea.
Yeah. I mean, everybody loves fat. Everybody.
And I would also like to say, if y'all want to, if you want 2 speakers, I would be happy to ride out with Dennis and do some of these events with him.
Look, I think some of these events, if we just sit here and talk like we talk today, and let people ask.
Hey, we've also talked about that too.
Yeah.
We want to do a live panel, like where we just sit up at the park.
Yeah.
And like invite people out there and just do a big Q&A with like a couple of speakers.
Yeah. I always think of like Charlie, come show me what you got. And I'll tell you, look, I'm not a professional, but I'm a dad.
Yeah. I think that's amazing ideas. And now that I started my foundation, I want to work with guys like you and with Alan. So we're going to be in contact. And if anybody don't know where to look at on his page, I'm friends with him on his personal page and his foundation page on my Facebook. All of my friends are visible on my Facebook. So like you look for Dennis Jordan, look for the Shelby Jordan Foundation. I will now add the
Showing Off for Shelby.
I will add that one today.
Let me tell you, it's the name of the car show is Showing Off for Shelby because that was Shelby's name.
Yeah.
Some people get mixed up and think it's just Shelby Mustangs. It is not.
Right.
It's every car. We've always had right at 200, a little better. One year we had 340.
Wow.
So we moved it back to Sunday to try to get that number again. And I tell you how the Lord worked in our life. So 3 years, year 3, we had 340 cars and raised $30-something thousand. Last year, we moved it back to Saturday and lost our crowd a little bit because we dealt with other car shows around us. I thought, man, our money's going to be down. Not that I'm a money person. Money's going to be money. It just is. Almost the same number. It was unbelievable to me how we had almost the same number.
God took care of it.
God took care of it all. And this year we're going to have an indoor portion. For sure we've added the indoor side of it. VIP Saturday's going to be food, live entertainment. I got a couple of singers I know. They're going to come in and sing for us for free and just have a good time. It's for the inside cars and VIPs, just to come bring your car inside, get it all ready for the show tomorrow. But I'm trying to make it where my cars are not inside.
Yeah. Because
I need to make money for the foundation. Not that I won't pay for mine to be inside, but if I make money off them, mine will just be outside. And look, I'm going to give the foundation. I'm going to give to it anyway.
Yeah.
My business is going to give to it. So I just want people, look, everybody comes to our show knows what we're doing. And the reaction you get from people is like, I got a daughter, I got a son, I got a grandchild. It's unbelievable how many people deal with this anymore. And then know what we're doing.
Yeah.
But I'm doing to try to help our community.
Absolutely.
And, this community, that community. Look, to me, Middle Tennessee is all my community.
Yeah,
that's my whole area.
Absolutely. I'm in agreement with you. Like, my community is Middle Tennessee.
Yeah, that's my community.
Is there anything else you need to plug?
I think that's it, man.
All right. Hey, thank you for being on the show.
I appreciate it.
Juicers, be on the lookout for all that information. We will be dropping shorts shortly, and we will see you on the next episode. Thank you for joining us for season 2 premiere. My name is Juice. Thank you, Brian, for everything you do. Juicers, we are out.